Disclaimer. Please forgive me now for there may be mispronunciations in this video. The Dearg, also known as the red bloodsucker in Irish, was not originally a monster to begin with, but a beautiful girl who lived over 2,000 years ago. So beautiful was she that men traveled far and wide to come win her hand in marriage, including rival clans across the land. She had blood-red lips and pale blonde hair, and her true name has been lost in time. She was kind as she was beautiful, a blessing to all that knew her. But as more and more men came to win her hand, her eyes and heart fell for a local peasant boy. His name too, lost in time. He was handsome and just as kind-hearted as the lovely maiden, but lacked what required to marry her: money. So instead, her father gave the young maiden to an older, cruel man who had money and stature. She suffered daily from terrible mental and physical abuse at the hands of her new husband. He was most fond of drawing blood from her porcelain skin. When she was not being abused, she kept locked away in a tower. She waited there, surrounded by cold stony walls, for her peasant lover to come rescue her, but she would lose hope eventually as months passed by. Believing she had no other way to save herself, she committed suicide, either by disposing of her food and starving, or hanging herself, depending the tale. In the end, she passed away from a slow and painful death. She was buried in a small churchyard near Strombo's Tree in the county of Waterford, southeast Ireland. Her husband had taken another wife before she even became cold, and her family were so engrossed in their wealth that they didn't give her a second thought. But one soul came to her grave every day, speaking to her about his undying love, and that was her peasant lover. Now back then, in small communities, they believed in placing stones on the graves of the dead to prevent the dead from rising, but with the beautiful maiden they didn't for some reason. Perhaps due to the guilt they felt for not helping her in her end, and in death her soul became twisted and vengeful. It was the very night she was buried that she rose as an undead corpse, driven by half-remembered human visions and hungry for revenge. She rose as a Dearg. From then on, she steals blood from children, from the innocent, and that of young men, calling to them with her haunting siren-like song that invades their sleep, luring them into the night where she tempts them to her grave. She did seek her vengeance, going to her family home first to kiss the life out of her father while he lay asleep. Next, she went to her husband, whom was surrounded by women. She launched at the chieftain, sending the woman screaming. She drained every ounce of blood from his cruel body. Now the only way to stop her is by building a heap of stones on top of her grave. So on the eve of her anniversary of death, the locals gathered and positioned rocks upon her grave so that she will not rise and take the blood of the innocent. But sometimes the rocks are displaced, forgotten, or her desire is stronger than any stone that can hold her down, and she walks the night for an ill-fated man who will fall victim by her beauty and song. What do you think of the Dearg? Did you like this video? Want to support this channel and get early access to my videos? Check out my Patreon page where I create content on cryptids, hauntings, alien abductions, serious killers, and much more. Can't support me there? Like, comment, and subscribe here.